This is Charlie Talbot with Talbot Consulting.
Greg Kitson with Mind's Eye Graphics.
Pierre with Blue Moon.
This is Marcia Derryberry with Impressions Magazine.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys
podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs
and Aaron Montgomery.
It's the first and most listened to favorite weekly internet radio show in the industry. Take a listen.
All right. Welcome into the show today. It is Friday, September 20th, 2019. My name's Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at aaronmontgomery.info. Today, we're going to be talking to Emil from Anchor Bookkeeping and discussing demystifying the bookkeeping process. So going to be some great information, really good stuff that you guys are all going to want to know about. You know, this is basically free tax advice from an accountant, from a CPA even. So that's awesome stuff on store for today. But first, I need to introduce my special guest host today. Some of you may know her. This is Kylie Montgomery, my wife, and she got told last night that I needed help. My two co-hosts, Terry is in Fair Lawn, New Jersey today, teaching a DTG Academy class, and Eric's a little under the weather, had some things going on, and I don't want him to push himself too hard. So Kylene gets to sit in. Kylene, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. We've got some of our regulators already checking in. Cricket, Jana is checking in. Sandy and Sandy, appreciate you saying hello to Lewis on my Small Business Saturday. He really enjoyed that. 8-year-olds love having people talk to them on video. So, and then Terry says, good morning, all. Happy birthday, Kylene. So
thank you, Terry.
All right. And Christine Shreve checking in. Christine, good morning. Thank you for joining us. And as usual, though, Eric is a trooper, and he is going to be joining us in the comments section today, even though he's not 100%. He's getting there, and looking forward to having him join us in the comments. Looking forward to you guys, the regulators, joining us in the comments, too. So questions, feedback, your thoughts. We've got Emil for about an hour today, and we've got some great questions, but we want your questions, too. So Lauren, thank you. Good morning. Thanks for checking in. And Richard, thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. So hopefully everybody's having a great Friday already. Kylene, how's your Friday so far?
So far, so good. I woke up to some decorations by someone. So that was cool.
A little bit of a big day for you today, birthday day today. So appreciate you.
It's a milestone.
Yeah. And then you also have another event happening here. I just wanted to share with people at noon today. What are you doing at noon today?
So I have a guest, one of my friends, Rachel Downey. Her and I are doing Girl Talk. It's our second one. It's our Facebook Live. So we're both a little new to it, but we're having fun with it. And she's going to, I don't know, we'll just talk a little bit about everything. That's kind of the plan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I saw some of your notes there. You guys are going to talk about some pretty good stuff. Some
procrastination is one of them.
Procrastination. And
I know a little bit about it.
All right. I'm hoping the discussion is how not to procrastinate, not how to procrastinate. Correct? Is that?
Yes, that's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah. All right. And goals. You guys are going to talk about goals. Okay, cool. So that you guys can check that out over at facebook.com/weheart.biz, and that'll be at noon Central Time. So, and I will be in the background there, causing trouble as usual. So, all right, guys. Well, a couple quick news items before we bring on Emil here. And one that I saw that I thought was interesting to us. I don't know how many of you guys have already been affected by the tariffs and whatnot happening. I know my friends over at Pick the Gift definitely have to factor all that stuff in, and it makes it a little bit of a challenge. But President Trump announced that the U.S. plans to delay the latest tariff increase on Chinese imports. Instead of levying the levies being effective October 1st, the president pushed them out to October 15th. The news comes after a 15% U.S. tariff went into effect on September 1st for $112 billion worth of Chinese imports. So, that certainly takes a bit of a toll on the bottom line when you're having to pay some decent tariffs. But it's part of the process. So, what do you think about that, Kylie?
I'm kind of calling me out already.
Yeah, calling you out already. Yeah. So no, it is a challenge. So just one of those things we want to make sure that we're sharing with you what we hear, getting the news happening there. And I'm clicking the wrong stuff. Todd, good morning. Thank you for checking in. And Eric has kindly shared the link to read a little bit more about that. And so good stuff there. So Michelle, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I could do this all day going good morning to everybody. So don't let me. So Kylene. Good.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I'm filling in. So thanks to all the regular listeners, the regulators, and then any new listeners that are joining us today. If you have an idea for a future show, go to the Connect with Us page at tworegularguys.com or reach out to us on, number 2. And then reach out to us on social media. The Two Regular Guys are everywhere. So if you're catching them live via Facebook, please jump in today and participate. With that, let's hear a word from our gold sponsor.
This episode of the Two Regular Guys is brought to you by Bright and Leap, makers of the Reggie Award-winning Embrilliance embroidery software. Embrilliance is different. You don't need hardware dongles or to trade active seats for every user. One license lets you run every computer in your shop at once. Embrilliance runs natively on both Mac and Windows. Your single license lets you install on both platforms. Embrilliance is modular. If you only need customizing with lettering, sizing, and recoloring, you can get just that. Embrilliance's unique stitch processing tools even allow you to resize and improve expanded stitch files from digitizers or stock collections for faster running, lighter embroideries. If you decide you need fully featured digitizing, it's fast and easy to add powerful design creation tools to your system. You can start with any tool and build your ideal kit. All Embrilliance programs run standalone or work together in their unified platform. See the difference for yourself at embrilliance.com. Two Regular Guys listeners can enter the exclusive code 2RG, that's the number 2RG, at embrilliance.com/store for 10% off your entire purchase.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Let's see if I can get this off the screen there. There we go. Welcome back. All right. So yes, thank you very much to Embrilliance for their support. Make sure that you use that code. That's awesome too. That as a regulator, all you have to do is tune in and watch and you get 10% off. That's pretty awesome, huh? All right. So a couple quick comments to get to here. I want to go back on the tariffs thing. Todd says, now's the perfect time to raise your prices. Blame it on the tariffs. Fantastic idea. I love it. And then Christine says, oh, that was hilarious. Aaron is such a proud husband. It's very cute. Yes, I am extremely proud. Kylene, I cannot tell you how proud I am of you for jumping in. You did a great job already. You've already stole the show. So.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, let's do this. I think Emil's ready. I want to get to all this great information. Again, like I said, you guys bring the questions, be participating in this, carry the show for us. Let's have a blast. So, all right. Let me get the things going in the background here. Let's see how this works out. All right. Well, welcome into the program. Emil Abedian is with Anchor Bookkeeping's founder and CEO. He's a member of the California Society of Certified Public Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and a board member and chief financial officer of the Swedish American Chamber of Commerce of Los Angeles. He earned his master's degree in business and economics from Uppsala University in Sweden. I probably messed it up again like I did on Small Business Saturdays. As a certified public accountant, a CPA, Emil has worked alongside frustrated small business owners for more than a decade and has observed that approximately 80% of the books presented to him for tax preparations were inaccurate. He saw a need in the market for affordable yet personalized one-on-one bookkeeping services for small business owners. Thus, Anchor Bookkeeping was born. So welcome in, Emil.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, Kylene.
Good morning.
Happy birthday, Kylene. I didn't know it was your birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a nice birthday. Huh? You get to work with your husband this
I know. What a nice gift.
Yeah, I'm not sure she says it's a gift, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Be nice.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
right. That's right. All right. Well, let's dive right in because there's lots of great stuff. I had a chance to talk to you not too long ago on Small Business Saturdays. So we talked about, we'll get to a couple of those things here in a little bit. But one of the things since that time together, I saw a social media post where you were with a fairly famous guy, especially in our industry. FUBU is an apparel company so Damon John, you were hanging out with him. And so tell us about your time with him. What was that all about?
Yeah, we're best friends. We were hanging out.
Yeah, totally.
I was invited to this event where Damon John was the keynote speaker. It was actually very cool to hear him speak. He had about an hour of a presentation talking about how he started FUBU, how he raised his initial seed round of capital, where he actually put his mom's house on a mortgage. I think it was $100,000 or so back in the early 90s, and took the risk and started this operation. And the initial warehouse was in the living room. I had all his friends and business partners in the living room working all day. And I was actually cool to hear him talk. I'm not a big TV guy. I don't watch too much TV, but Shark Tank is one of the few shows that I watched. I look up to these guys, Damon John, Mark Cuban, all the other guys. It's cool to hear that, entrepreneurs that are big shots right now have gone through all this headache and hassles that we are going through right now. So that gives us hope.
Totally. I think that's a great message. I'm the same way. Not a huge TV guy, but has somebody in the small business world, and like you said, people that are being able to see, getting to that success point and hearing their stories, and that is a great show. So that's very cool that you got to meet him. Well, let's talk some bookkeeping here. So let's just start right off with, let's discuss improving a business finance workflow. What does that look like to you? How can people improve their finance workflow?
That's a good one, Aaron. I usually get the question, should I do it myself? Should I outsource it? Should I hire someone in-house?
Yeah.
There's no right answer to it. It depends on what you know and what your background is. But more than 50%, or at least 50% of the bookkeeping workflow is to actually do the work. Is take your time and do it ongoing, and then not push it forward towards your taxes. I do it, your taxes not due until later on. Just push it forward. That's 50% of the work. The remaining is to actually know what you're doing and understand the numbers. But if you actually do the work, you're 50% through the workflow.
Okay.
That's the main thing that I always tell my clients or friends or family who ask me that question. And when we take on the bookkeeping process, we have a specific way of doing. We have this workflow that we'll talk about it right now. But the main thing is, first of all, to get it done, as I mentioned.
Okay.
Get it done timely. You don't want to do this month's bookkeeping 3-4 months down the line, because you will forget what these transactions are about. And you defeat most of the purpose, because once you do your bookkeeping, you look at your financial statements and get a lot of information from it to base your business decisions on. Yeah. So don't push it forward. Do it right away based on the schedule that we'll discuss on right now.
Yeah.
And that kind of forces you to create systems and processes, not only to do your bookkeeping and understand your numbers, but also to avoid mistakes. It creates internal control for yourself. Once your business is growing a little bit bigger, where you have 1 or 2 people helping you with check writing or deposit checks, now you create some kind of systems where you're minimizing the fraud in your company, and so that you won't lose money that you really don't have to. So that's another part of it. To do the bookkeeping for yourself, understand the numbers for all tax purpose, but also to protect your business, you and your business from bad things happening.
Yeah.
And also to be able to forecast for the future. Okay, this is how it looks right now. How can we project and forecast what's coming up, so we're prepared? So if then big expenses coming up down the line, we're prepared for it, so our cash flow won't get hit and destroy our business. Nice. So those are the things that we look at and kind of advise our clients to make sure they take care of. And some of these tasks or the duties that we're going to talk about are daily, some are weekly, some are monthly, some could even be quarterly basis.
Okay.
But the number one thing that I do for my business, every morning when I walk in, I grab a cup of coffee, sit in front of a computer.
Cheers.
So you have your and I just log into my online banking right away. With today's technology, I'm assuming most of us have online banking. Just look at your transactions. A couple of days passed, and what happened? What kind of deposits did you get in? What kind of credits do you have? Just to make sure you understand every single deposit and credit and deduction from your account, so that nothing goes in between there, so you don't lose anything.
Okay.
The other small business owners, we can't afford to lose anything, not even a single dollar. You got to make sure you account for every single dollar, because that's how we can grow our business step by step. We're not this multi-billion-dollar company where a couple of thousand here or 100,000 there won't matter. So you got to make sure you look at your bank statements and understand each transaction, at least so you know what this deposit is for, what client it comes in for, and what these expenses are for.
Nice.
So that's the first thing I do for my business. And when we do bookkeeping through Anchor Bookkeeping, that's what we could do for our clients also.
Yeah, nice.
That's a daily basis. I always recommend my client.
Okay.
And what we do on a weekly basis is, obviously, for your cash flow purpose, you want to make sure you bill your customers, your clients, depending what kind of industry you are in, on weekly basis. And a lot of you probably, or a lot of my clients say, wow, weekly, it's way too much time. I do this monthly basis, but you lose a lot of money. There's a lot of cash flow issues by doing it on a monthly basis.
Okay.
By doing it weekly, first of all, you get paid faster, obviously, because rather than waiting an entire month until you bill, and there's another 30 to 45 days until you get paid. You could get paid 60 to 75 days after you've done the work. But if you do the weekly, you can cut that to much shorter. Yeah. But also, it's also proven, it's not something I say, that if you bill weekly, the customers, the clients have the work that you've done fresh in their mind. It's easier for them to pay you. Yeah. So you're gonna get paid faster just by sending them invoice right after the work is done, because mentally they're more prepared to pay you rather than waiting another 45, 60 days until they get the invoice. It's kind of your service and your products kind of fall behind back of their head. They're not as happy to pay you. So for two reasons, you want to make sure you invoice your clients weekly basis. Cash flow is absolutely number one.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to do that.
Excellent.
And once you do that, so it's not only to send out the invoices, obviously, depending on what kind of system you use. Some people might use QuickBooks, some might use some other software to invoice. But if the invoicing system is not connected to your accounting software, you have to make sure you enter those invoices into your accounting software.
Okay.
Some people invoice just in Excel or Word, or some does it in a separate accounting software. But if it's not connected to your accounting software, make sure you input it on as soon as you invoice your clients, so you have your accounts receivable aging. You need to be able to look at your accounts receivable aging, say, okay, this is Aaron is my client who hasn't paid me 45 days.
I'm a deadbeat. Yep.
Bad client. So you want to make sure you have clear picture of what invoices that are due, so that you can go after your clients and customers to ask for payment.
Sure.
Because as we will discuss down the line here too, also cash flow is one of the main problems for small businesses. Yeah. And by doing this, you're cutting down the cash flow problem. You're increasing your cash flow so you can invest and do other things in your business rather than having your customers or clients sitting on your money. Yeah. So, and one thing that a lot of small business owners don't think about is negotiating. Just because Aaron is your client doesn't mean that you can't negotiate with him. It's past due. Let's say it's 15-day past due, and Aaron haven't paid you. But Aaron is a good customer. He will pay you sooner or later. But your cash flow is pretty bad right now. You'll reach out to Aaron and say, Aaron, it's been, this invoice is past due. Yeah. What do we do? I understand you might be in a bad situation right now. Yeah. What if you pay me 50% right now and carry the remaining 50%? Or what if I give you a small discount if you can pay me all of it at once? Talk to your customer, communicate with your customers to make sure you guys are on both same side. Don't, just because the customer hasn't paid you doesn't mean that they don't want to pay you. Obviously, we're all small business owners, and as a small business owner, we probably do business with small business owners also. Yep. The communication helps a lot. Rather than just waiting, wow, this client hasn't paid me for 90 days, I'm going to send it to collection, and nothing's going to happen. You're going to get zero out of it. So that's what I've noticed. Communication helps a lot when it comes to collecting. Okay. And also on the other side, when it comes to paying your bills, you might be in bad situation at times where you don't have money to pay your vendors. just communicate with them. Just give them a call. Just, hey man, Aaron, I'm really sorry. This is the situation right now. I give you 25%, the good faith payment right now. You know that will pay you. Just hang in there, please. They will understand you, definitely.
Sure.
The same way
Working together.
Your client. So
okay, all right. Well, so a couple things that came out of that. Back to what you first were talking about with getting it done right away and getting to that bookkeeping process or whatnot. Yeah, I mean, as you were saying that, I'm just sitting there giggling to myself because I have that same thing where if I go, man, I got to get the bills caught up, get that stuff caught up, and I wait a couple months. It's such a massive process. If we just do it every week or every day, kind of just keep stuff together. And then Eric, the producer, said, sounds like this ties in with Kylene's upcoming video on procrastination. So watch that for ways to not procrastinate. So the second thing I wanted to kind of ask you about, was, you mentioned QuickBooks in there. How does that all fit together? We're going to talk a little bit more about Anchor Bookkeeping specifically towards the end here, but how would that tie in? Let's say I'm using QuickBooks and, but I want to also kind of outsource this and have some help from an outside service, specifically Anchor Bookkeeping. How does that all kind of tie in and work together?
So Anchor Bookkeeping is totally separate platform.
Okay.
So
Okay.
It's nothing to do with QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks, whatever software it is. So Anchor Bookkeeping is not a software company. It's a service.
Okay.
So when you sign up for Anchor Bookkeeping, our bookkeepers, in-house bookkeepers in California, will do the work. We don't outsource any of the work. So it's all done here in our softwares. What you do, you get your service, you get the financial statements,
Gotcha.
and you have a bookkeeper that will talk to you, communicate with you, and explain the numbers for you. So you don't do anything. That's the difference between. I get that question all the time. It sounds like it's a software, but it's not really software. We utilize the technology, but it's a service that we provide with help of this technology.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
you have a full-time bookkeeper dedicated just for you that will work on your books all any given time. So you don't have a different people calling you, talking to you. You have one person who understands your numbers, understands your business, which you can ask any questions you have to. And same way, the bookkeeper will ask you some questions also, because there's some transactions that the bookkeeper wouldn't probably not know what it is for, to be able to classify it correctly for the financial statement preparation.
Okay.
That's a big difference between.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure we were clear on that. So, Kylene, if you can help me remember it to not procrastinate. We've talked about this many times before, that we need to sign up for Anchor Bookkeeping, and I procrastinated.
Yep.
So let's just get that done.
It's very easy to procrastinate the bookkeeping because no one is forcing you to do it until tax time. And if you're a business owner, you probably would put it on side. But
totally. That's exactly what happens. Okay. Well, quick question from one of our regulators, and Christine asks, what's a good accounting software option for a small business, or say, for instance, a freelance writer? You have any feedback on that? Anchor Bookkeeping, yes, obviously.
If you want the work done, if you want to do it yourself, if you have the knowledge and experience to do it yourself and the discipline to do it, QuickBooks is fine, definitely. Depending on if you want to do an online version or a desktop version, but it's for $50-$60 a month, you get QuickBooks Online, where you can access from anytime, anywhere, and you can utilize it. But you got to keep in mind that when you use software like that, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And with my experience, when you mentioned in the beginning that when we got our books, 80% of the small business owners have incorrect books.
Yeah.
It's mainly because of QuickBooks Online and these new online softwares, because we have small business owners, we have the picture that QuickBooks Online does the work for you. It pulls in the data and it's all done. It pulls in the data, but actually the opposite compared to the desktop version. The desktop, you had to enter it, so you had to actually know what you were doing. So it was not that, not much that could go wrong. But with the online version, it pulls in the data, and if you don't know how to classify it and set it up correctly from the beginning, I could create a lot of issues, which when you send your books to your CPA for end of the year, he will have to spend a lot of time cleaning it up.
Gotcha.
But if you know what you're doing, QuickBooks Online is great. I think that's a good software to utilize.
So that's why it takes me several days to do my taxes, because I didn't set it up correctly on the front end. I got it. All right. You would think that with a CPA father that I'd be better at this, but I'm not. And so that's why I have to meet people like Emil to help me with this stuff. So, all right. So this is more of a comment, but I think this is actually pretty pertinent to our industry here. Terry, who's a screen print supplier, says, I'm a small business and I don't extend terms. Everyone has a credit debit card. I educate them in the beginning, and that's how I roll, and they don't have any issues with that. And like I said, I think this is just more of a comment, but your take on that, Emil?
Okay, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. Sorry, I rushed through it. I'll put it. It says, I'm a small business and I don't extend terms. Everyone has a credit or debit card. I educate them that in the beginning, that's how I roll, and they have no issue with it. So you're not invoicing people. But my curiosity there, I guess, actually what my question comes from that comment to you is, how does that, because like if I'm getting checks though, I'm saving myself, 3-4%. So how do you balance that out maybe?
So here the point, the comment was that they don't invoice, if I understand it right. They don't
They
charge credit
get
card.
everything payment up front. Yeah.
A credit card is an excellent way to get your cash flow rolling.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get paid right away. You don't wait 30, 60 days to get paid, which is a great way to kind of collect your money right away. On the backside, as I mentioned, is the fees that you end up paying, 3-4%, whatever it is that you gotta pay. But sometimes that's worth it, and that's worth to get your cash flow rolling rather than waiting 30, 60 days to get paid. So I'm all for it if it's a good fit for your business.
Yeah.
For some businesses, that's not a good fit because cash flow is not as important. Like for my business, I don't have a lot of it's more of service kind of a business.
Yeah, not the hard costs. Yeah,
big of an issue as a distribution or a retail business. So for me, getting a check is much better than charging a credit card. But I understand definitely that's nothing wrong with that, depending on the business type. Absolutely.
Business model. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. Well, so you've given us a lot of great stuff to go with already. Kind of getting that workflow going here. But I guess I just want to kind of direct question for you here. Is this demystification of this whole bookkeeping process not procrastinating until April 15th to build your books? I mean, it kind of seems like that's kind of it.
At least 50% of it, definitely.
Okay.
At least 50% is to actually do the work. Sit down, weekly basis, get it done. As some of the tasks, even daily basis. Spend 5-10 minutes a day. It's not more than that. 5 minute, 10 minute, review your bank account. End of the week, maybe 1 hour, an hour and a half to make sure all the invoices goes out. The bills are there. So you're talking about maybe a monthly basis, 5, 6, 7 hours a month to get your bookkeeping done correctly.
Yeah.
Which will give you a lot of information, a lot of insight into your own business to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
You can't guess on your business decisions. You got to have data to make your decisions based off. And if you don't have the data to do it, I don't know how you're making the decisions.
Yeah. And it, like I said, it is just that guess and hope that you're doing right. And I don't know about you guys, but for me as a small business owners, I'm not sure I really want to rely on guessing and hoping to be successful. Having the right data and right information in front of you is a huge part of that. So you mentioned that it was about 15% not procrastinating, or 50% not procrastinating until the 15th. Where's the other side? What's the other 50%?
The other side is actually to know what you're doing. As I mentioned earlier with QuickBooks Online, you buy it, you think that QuickBooks Online is doing the work, but it's not the case. You got to know how to classify it. For example, just as an example, you get a bank loan, whatever amount, deposited into your checking account, and that's money coming into your checking account. Yeah. I've seen that many, many, many times that $50,000, for example, bank loan has been booked as income, revenue, which is not revenue. You're not supposed to pay tax on it. So artificially, you increase your revenue. Yeah, maybe that's good for a publicly traded company where they want to show higher income. For us small businesses, we don't want to pay more.
Yeah, lower.
So So end of the year, when I talk to the clients, well, I didn't make any money. I look at the profit and loss statement. Well, you made over $100,000. What do you mean? Well, it's impossible. It can't be right. Well, you did the bookkeeping, so I don't know. We got to go back and review everything and spend a lot of time to clean it up. So it's about knowing how you book the transactions. There are some profit and loss items that we'll discuss down the line also here, some balance sheet items. So just because it's a payment going out doesn't mean it's an expense, or money coming in doesn't mean it's an income. So those are the things you have to be careful. So that's the remaining of the 50%. Right. I'm just throwing out 50% rough.
No, I know. Yeah. No, you that's great stuff. Yeah. So, and I have a feeling that it seems like you've seen all of this stuff before. So when I send you my QuickBooks based stuff, that you're going to be nice and gentle with me and not beat me up too much for having everything wrong. Okay.
All kinds of clients, and honestly, majority of the clients that come to us that finally decide to get help, they've been afraid. They've been kind of this shame part of them. So I don't want to show this horrible part of my book. I haven't done this. I don't want anyone to see it. That majority of the small businesses have those kind of books. So I always talk to them, don't worry, we're here. That's why you came to us. We're going to fix it and give it back to you. So you have clean, nice books. So don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
Okay. All right. I will lead by example then here. Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Do you have any tax saving tips that we could do right now? Please.
I get that question all the time, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Main thing that we do, first thing that we do when we get a new client is to look at the situation, see, okay, we review their tax return, we do the bookkeeping, see, okay, how can we help them? How can we, first of all, clean up the books, give them the records and information they need for their internal purpose, and then how can we use that data for the tax return purpose to provide good tax return with minimizing liability in a legal way. So we come down to the different kind of tax strategies. And the first thing we do is the business structure. What kind of business structure are you running your business? Are you in a corporation, LLC, sole proprietor, partnership, S Corp, C Corp? What kind of corporation? Because depending on your situation, depending in your industry and tax situation, these different entities could make a big difference for you. Just as an example here, I met with a new client, potential client here earlier this week. Coffee shop here in LA area, decent size, making about $1.5 million, 1.6 million revenue. But unfortunately, the bottom line is not much. They have not a big profit there. And they're running their business. They've been running their business as an LLC, taxed as a partnership. Because if you're running an LLC, you have the option to make election how to be taxed, partnership, corporation, S corporation. So they were running it as a partnership. And in California, LLCs are paying gross receipt fee. They don't call it tax, it's a gross receipt fee. So depending on your revenue, you end up paying a net fee to the state of California. They don't care about the bottom line. They don't care about the profit. So even though this coffee shop does not have a big profit, they end up paying $6,000 to the state of California every year just because of their revenue.
Wow.
So they don't even make, I don't even think they make $6,000 profit, and they have to pay $6,000 because they're running it as an LLC. Very easy fix is to reclassify that to an S corporation, which that $6,000 will boom disappear right away. So you don't want to
save them $6,000 by wow.
And reclassifying is not a rocket science. Basically, 2-page form you fill out and send it into the IRS, and you get, as long as you do it timely, you get the S corporation election, and they save $6,000. So entity type is number one thing. It's very easy for us to come in and save clients taxes by just restructuring small changes and make them save there. And then obviously when you're an S corporation, so in this case they were LLC, but if we reclassify them to an S corporation, the owners have to pay reasonable salary from their own company. This is a big thing going on right now with the IRS. They're looking at it very strictly. So as the S corporation owners, you're responsible and required to take reasonable salary from your company. Okay. Because if you're not, you're saving 15% in self-employment taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and all those taxes. And IRS don't want you to save Obviously, they want every single dime they can.
Yeah.
They require you to take the salary from your company to pay. On the salary part, you pay the self-employment taxes. But we can't find in the code what reasonable salary is. You got to be able to justify for it yourself, depending on industry, how long you've been doing it, how much would you get paid if you were working somewhere else for doing the same thing. Do you have employees who generate a profit for you, or are you generating a profit yourself? So depending on the situation.
Yeah.
So what we do, we come in and look at your salary, say, okay, Aaron, you might be overpaying yourself in form of salary. You can still take the same amount of money out, but just split it up, like take portion of it in salary and the remaining portion as distribution, so you can save 15.3% in self-employment taxes on that portion.
Wow.
As long as your salary is reasonable, you can definitely do that. So there's a lot of savings to do that for S corporations. And another thing, for example, right now, a lot of people are asking me about buying cars. Now, should I buy? Should I lease? What kind of car should I buy? First answer to that is, you got to be a car that you like. Obviously, you're not going to buy something just to buy it or just to get a tax deduction. But if you have the option, if you could, I would buying an SUV with more than 6,000 pounds would benefit you more. Don't ask me why, because that's the law. But the car or the SUV is more than 6,000 pounds, you get a very aggressive bonus depreciation the first year you buy it. So if you buy a $50,000 car with the current tax law, you could probably deduct, if you use it 100% for your business, you could probably deduct most of it the first year you buy it. So you get a $50,000, almost $50,000 tax deduction the first year you get it.
Wow.
So if you buy a sedan, a two-door or whatever, less than six, or even an SUV less than 6,000 pounds, the deduction would be around $10,000. So that's a $40,000 tax deduction the initial year you buy it, which could end up saving you, if you're in a 40% bracket, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000 in taxes. So
wow. So when you became a CPA, you didn't think you'd become a car dealer as well?
So that's what we do on the side on the weekend.
So if you want a 6,000 pound plus SUV, you can find
that's all we sell, 6,000 pounds.
Nice, awesome. Okay, all right.
Another thing that a lot of small business owners don't know, if you have your own house, renting, let's go back one step. So rentals of your own property, less than 14 days or 14 days a year is tax-free. So you can get rental income for your property as long as you rent it out less than 14 days a year. That's tax-free income coming to you. So let's say you have a house, Aaron, and you rent it out, especially here in Los Angeles area. A lot of movie studios are getting out and trying to rent small houses for shoots and whatever. So if you rent it for less than 14 days, you get $100,000 rental income, which is actually not impossible in this Hollywood area. That's totally tax-free income.
Wow.
So what you could do for your business is you could have retreats, whatever you want to do for your business, rent out your house for 14 days or less. That the business will pay rent, deducted as rental expense. You personally will not have to pick it up as rental income.
Wow, that's a good. So like Airbnb too. I mean, you get
Airbnb less than 14 days.
Yeah, just
it got to be less than 14 days. The 14 days or less, that will be tax-free income. Doesn't matter how much it is. Every year you can do that. So that's a nice one for.
Yeah, that's a great one. I got a quick question here from listener Terry. It says, can I sell my paid off truck that I use for deliveries to my S corp?
You can sell it. Definitely, you can sell it with this new tax law. It could if it's more than 6,000 pounds. If you want the more aggressive depreciation, you can sell it. It could be a used car, yes, but obviously the price has to be reasonable. Market value. If a pickup truck is 10-year-old and it's worth $5,000, you can't sell it for $50,000. Obviously, you got to have some kind of base for the price if you sell it to yourself. But
wow. Cool. This is great stuff, man. You guys are getting free CPA advice here right now. So we really appreciate this.
It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me give you another one. Another very interesting that we utilize a lot of time for other small business owners is, as parents, Aaron, you probably soon you got to start saving for college, and if you have a little bit older kids, you want to maybe pay for their wedding or whatever it is you want to pay for. It's not deductible. If you're over a certain amount, you're not even college will be tax deductible. So what we do, instead of paying directly to the college or directly to the wedding vendors, have the kids work for you. Even an 8-year-old, your son, Aaron, the 8-year-old can do a lot of things for a small business. They can do shredding, scanning, cleaning. I have he doesn't get paid yet. He's too young, but he's a 6-year-old. He comes into my office and does a lot of work for me. But I think pretty soon he will ask for some money. So put them on payroll. You put your kid on payroll, and up to $12,000 per year, since the standard deduction went up from starting 2018, they will not pay any income taxes. You will deduct it as a deduction for your business, and the kid will not have to pick it up as income. So $12,000 tax saving. Let's say if you're in a 40% bracket, you save 40% of the $12,000. Depending on what state you are, 40% might seem high, but in California, 40%, including federal of California, it's very reasonable. That's why I have 40% as an example. But so you get that. All you have to pay is the Social Security and Medicare taxes for your kid, unless you're running your business as a sole proprietor. If you're running as a sole proprietor, you don't have a business entity as an S Corporation LLC, you can pay your kid and not even have to pay the Social Security and Medicare taxes. So that's a good one that you can save a lot of money.
Nice.
And not necessarily that the kid has to be old enough. If you have younger kids, especially in probably in people who listen to this podcast, you can use them for marketing purpose on your flyers, on the website. And if you have a cute baby, you can do a lot of creative things. I don't know if you want to put them on the website and all that. But if that's not an issue for you, they can do other things than just scanning and shredding. You can utilize that and for nothing else, for tax purpose. As long as you actually work for it, as long as the idea has to be that they are working for you, they're doing something for the company.
Nice. Okay, so Kylene has an employee in her small business. She's our chief cute officer, and so our dog. So Terry says my dog is security greeter, and I was told by my CPA that his food and vet visits are deductible. Is that a stretch? Because our chief cute officer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that seems
no comment for that.
Okay, all right. All right, sounds good. All right, so where are we at here? Let's talk a little cash flow here. We talked a little bit about it early on, but obviously we were talking about when you're invoicing to not invoice, credit card, all that kind of fun stuff. But business failure due to cash flow issues, how can we protect ourselves there?
As we talked about a little bit earlier, the cash flow is a big issue for small business owners, for a lot of small business, and it's one of the main reasons why majority of businesses fail within the first few years of operation. And with the bad cash flow, low cash flow, it creates a lot of issues. Obviously, if you don't have cash flow, you can't take on new opportunities. You can't hire the right people. If you want to expand, you can't expand because you don't have your cash swamp. So so it's limiting you that way. And if you can't grow, if you can't keep on competing with your competitors, you're falling behind. Competitors keep on going up, and you can stay there. And as anything else, you got to keep improving your product. Your business has to keep on going.
Yeah,
if you can't do that, it creates a lot of problem. You start incurring a lot of fees and charges, like late fees, because you don't have money to pay them. It could jeopardize your relationship with your vendors, for example, if you don't pay them. So there's a lot of problems that cash flow is creating for you. And there are ways that you can minimize those issues, obviously. And what do we do? First of all, we try. I know it's very hard, but we try to explain to our clients, try to have at least 3 months of reserve for operating expenses, for your rent, employees, utilities, just for rainy day. I know it's very hard for a lot of small businesses to have that, but if you could have that, at least if you don't have a line of credit. If you have a line of credit with a bank or a credit card that you can use in a rainy day, it's at least all right. Even though we don't recommend credit card use for most of our clients, because it's very easy to charge it on the credit card and just forget about it, think that that's your money, and then the interest start ticking in, and it creates a lot of other problems. Unless you have the discipline to pay it off by end of the month, that's perfectly fine. That would buy you another 30 to 45 days to kind of improve your cash flow. But if you can't, you got to be careful with the credit card.
Yeah. Okay.
And what else can we do? We discussed this earlier also. Do your billing weekly. Don't wait until monthly.
Okay.
That's going to improve help you a lot with your cash flow to improve that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Certain businesses, factoring might be a good option in clothing business, for example, where you got to put a lot of money up front to buy clothing or whatever you're selling, but you don't get paid until 40, 50, 60, maybe even 90 days after you sold it, because you got to put it on the shelf until they sell it, they pay you back in certain businesses. So factoring might be a good way for certain businesses to improve your cash flow. And inventory system, you got to be that goes back to your accounting and bookkeeping, to have a very nice inventory system, so you know exactly what you have on your shelf, in your warehouse, so you don't have way too much. So comes back to understanding your numbers, understanding your business. So this is what we're forecasting to sell within 30 to 60 days. We have way too much in inventory. Let's cut it down. Let's cut it down. Once you cut it down, your cash flow gets better and improve it. So that's a big topic that a lot of small business owners ignore to look at. They think just because I have it on the shelf, I'd rather be safe. Yeah, that's right. You'd rather be safe, but that might jeopardize your business. With that cash flow, you might run out of business.
Yeah. So, and with products sitting on the shelf, that's not good for sure. Okay. Kylene, you had another question. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you had a question? Sorry.
Yeah. On Aaron's Small Business Saturday, you mentioned that there was 5 numbers that every business should know. Can you review those with us again?
Yeah. So obviously you got to know your revenue, your sales, your income coming in. That's number one. And that's relatively easy to figure out. That's the money coming in, unless you get a bank loan, the 50,000 example that we got. But you look at your financial statement, that's a revenue coming in. So you know what's coming in. But also you got to look at your gross profit. Your gross profit is your income, your revenue minus cost of goods sold that you sell. See, if I'm selling this, I buy this cup for $1 and sell it for $2. My gross profit is $1. So I need to know how much this cup cost me and how much the product is. And you want to break it down per product level, so you understand your gross profit per product or item or service you're selling, so you don't sell something that you're losing money on. And we see that a lot of times. With customers are losing money on certain products. Hopefully not on all the products, but
you can't make it up in volume.
To do that.
When you're losing money on it, you can't make it up in volume. I've tried. It doesn't work.
It doesn't matter. You might intentionally want to do that. Let's say if I sell this with a loss, but I know that you will come in and buy 10 different other things with a profit, that's a way for you to come into my business. Well, that might be your strategy to do that. But at least you have the information. You know why you're losing money on this. So gross profit is another very important number that you really need to understand. Operating expenses. You got to know your operating expenses in and out, because that's where you can really cut your expenses. Your rent, utility, employees, your travel. What operating expenses do you have to run this business? And what can you cut down? And not only that, you got to know your current numbers, you want to know your past numbers also. You want to compare your operating costs with the past to see how the trend is going. How is the analysis from prior year or the year before? Is the rent going up, utility going up? How can we adjust or correct our business to reduce it? Because there's a lot of profit that could be made by adjusting and making sure you know your operating expenses.
Yeah. Okay.
And assets and liabilities, I usually combine them, because the assets, this is a balance sheet item. So assets are your fixed equipment, your bank balance. Your liabilities are obviously loans you have to the bank, credit card liabilities, tax liabilities. You want to make sure you know your assets and liabilities. Just because you have 100,000 sitting in the bank doesn't mean that it's a healthy business. You might have 200,000 bank loan sitting on your liability side. So you want to make sure you compare those and forecast for the future and prepare the $200,000 principal that you have to pay back to the bank.
Okay.
And lastly, the cash flow statement. You also want to know your cash flow statement. We discussed about the cash flow. Cash flow and your profit and loss is two different things. The profit and loss is basically your income, tax income minus your expenses. And expenses could be things that are not cash flow related. For example, if you buy the $60,000 car that you want to depreciate the first year, you get a $60,000 deduction, but you didn't buy that for cash. You just got a bank loan. But it doesn't matter for profit and loss purpose. You get a $60,000 deduction in your profit and loss. Your profit might be zero, but your cash flow will show $60,000 cash, positive cash, because you never paid that $60,000. So you want to make sure, just because your profit and loss shows a number doesn't mean that that's there actually cash. You need to understand both portions to understand how much profit do we have tax-wise, and how much money do we actually have, and how much money are we projecting and estimating to pay out in the near future. So those are, if I have to give 5 numbers, I think those are the ones that you got to be careful with and analyze very strictly.
Nice, excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we've taken a whole bunch of free CPA services from you here, so we really appreciate it. I mean, I've learned so much today, and like I said, my dad was a CPA for 25 years, so I'm like going, man, I should have known these things, but I don't, and that's why I have friends like you. So
don't worry, my dad owned a restaurant for 30 years. I don't know how to cook, so don't worry about it.
So we're okay then. Okay, perfect. So now I know my son will not be able to do marketing or so I want to talk about Anchor, though. We talked about it a little bit here throughout, and like I said, Kylene and I are going to get signed. I mean, I was just looking at the website. In fact, I'm going to pop it up here on the screen for everybody to see that's tuning in live. Tell us a little bit about this. Just give us a little bit more about where people can find it and what it's all about.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, it's not a software. So it's nothing that you subscribe to and got to do the work. It's a service that you buy. So it's a service with your dedicated bookkeeper, and we utilize the technology to do that and streamline the process. And so what happens is, once you sign up with Anchor, you have an onboarding process with your own dedicated bookkeeper, which goes through the process with you, signing up, create your own membership site on our website where you have your own username and password. And you connect directly to your bank, whatever bank you're with. It's Bank of America, whatever bank it is. We're connected with hundreds of banks. So through our site with API, you connect to your own bank in a secure way. So we never get the username password. So after that's done, we pull in your transaction, check copies, all your statements into our platform, both bank and credit card statements. Wow. And do the bookkeeping for you. So we don't have to bug you, ask you, hey, Aaron, send me your statements, send me your check copies, whatever it is. So we get that automatically from the bank right away and do the bookkeeping for you in the back end without you even knowing that it's been done. Okay. Once it's done, we upload the financial statements back to the portal where you have the access to view your statements any given time. And you can either send that to your CPA for tax planning purpose, for tax return preparation, or talk to your own bookkeeper, Anchor bookkeeper, to ask any questions. What's happening? Can you just go over numbers? Can you explain what these numbers mean? And Anchor bookkeeping, your dedicated bookkeeper will definitely be there to answer your questions. What we noticed also is, a lot of our clients now, they don't want to call us anymore. It takes too much time of their time. They rather get their answer right away. So we have a chat function within your own portal where you and your bookkeeper can see, where you can just chat with your bookkeeper right away. It's not a booth or anything. It's directly with your bookkeeper, as long as it's during business hours. Yep. And we can set it up so you can get a text also. So instead of you having to log into your account, your computer, you can just get a text with your bookkeeper right away also. This is streamline the communication between the bookkeeper and our clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I love the fact that, it's not a bot. It's not some artificial intelligence thing. You're actually working with a real bookkeeper, which is huge. But you guys have set this up in such an efficient manner that price-wise, it is almost like a bot or, whatnot. So, so Sharon has a question, Emil, and I know we kind of talked about this a little bit, but how is this different from something like QuickBooks?
QuickBooks, you have to do your work yourself. You buy the software, you pull in the data the same way we pull in the data. That's not a difference. But then our bookkeeper take over. do the transactions, prepare the financial statements. So, but if you do QuickBooks, you have to classify all your transactions yourself. You got to know where each transaction is going in the profit and loss balance sheet bucket. So that's the main difference. You have a dedicated bookkeeper doing it for you versus QuickBooks. You have to do it yourself.
Nice. Yeah. No, I mean, that's
As the website says, they're on the DIY coffee table cute, DIY bookkeeping not cute. So
yeah. I mean, I can totally attest to that too. I mean, Kylene can vouch for me too. I mean, the amount of time that I've spent, just like I said, when I get behind, it's even worse. But the amount of time I spend trying to get everything classified in QuickBooks and all that other stuff. I mean, what's my time worth to me? And the fact that I haven't answered that question yet is the problem. So that it's time to make a commitment and get this done. So yeah, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Good stuff. All right, cool. Well, did we miss anything, Emil?
I can talk about this topic for hours and hours. So I guess we got to stop it somewhere. So.
Yeah, we do have to stop somewhere because again, we're taking up all your time free of charge, and we really appreciate everything that you've shared with us. Go back. I mean, I think if you just go back and watch this a couple times over, because there were so many little tips in there. I mean, the car thing, the kid, employing your kid, Lewis, our son Lewis, is on notice. He will be employed pretty soon. Awesome.
If you have any question, anyone, listeners, and questions, I'm very good with email. Just Emil, EMIL at anchorbookkeeping.com. I'm happy to answer any questions you guide have and guide you through it. So.
Awesome. And we see you all over social media too. So find him there. It's facebook.com/anchorbookkeeping, correct?
Facebook, I think Facebook is actually Anchor Books. Sorry.
Yeah.
We couldn't get Anchor Bookkeeping for Facebook. So Anchor Books for Facebook, but Instagram is Anchor Bookkeeping _.
Okay. That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And
thank you.
We'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that was great, Kylene. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I can't get off this screen, but that's okay. I'll work on that. Well,
yeah, that was really cool. I enjoyed that. There was a lot of good information, I think I need to work on with the daily bookkeeping and then the weekly bookkeeping instead of leaving it all for you.
Well, it's just one of those things where, how much is your time worth? I think I missed a comment from Sharon of, exactly. It's so time consuming. And so, yes, you can get QuickBooks. Hey, we've got QuickBooks, right? And we do it. I take pictures of our receipts and yeah, to understand where you're at. But if you can get away from having to do all that and still be able to understand where it's at, it's awful. In fact, Sharon said, I had the privilege of a full IRS audit. I mean, there's another great reason to have all your stuff in order. Yeah. I mean, doing my own taxes and us doing our own books, I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not a CPA. And boy, that's a horrifying thought right there to have that privilege that Sharon got. So really
I think about all the time it would take to prepare for that you couldn't be working on your business. Yeah, that'd be huge.
Now I'm horrified. I'm gonna have to go find my high blood pressure medication right now. All right. Well, let's keep moving on, and we're getting close to bonus time already, and I know you've got to get prepared for girl talk.
I do. I don't have a script this time, so I'm gonna have to get mentally prepared here.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and hear a word from our newest sponsor, Ace Transfer Company. Put their website up there, and let's hear a word from them.
Have you been looking to grow your business or start one in the garment decoration industry? After all, that's why you're listening, right? Ace Transfer Company is located in Springfield, Ohio, and we've provided our customers with high-quality transfers, competitive prices, and great customer service for nearly 30 years. Ace Transfer Company offers a wide variety of garment decoration services, including screen-printed transfers, contract screen printing, direct-to-garment or DTG, dye sublimation, signs, banners, heat transfer vinyl, pressure-sensitive vinyl, and more. Use your own designs or have our in-house artists assist you in creating eye-catching transfers. At ACE, we are dedicated to helping your business succeed, so print your vision at ACE. For more information, visit our website, acetransfercompany.com. Send us an email at acetransco@gmail.com. That's ACETRANSCO@gmail. Or give us a call at 800-525-3126.
Okay. Well, thank you very much to Ace Transfer Company for their support of the show, and we're glad to have them on board. We actually have some other support coming on soon, so I'm excited to announce them as well. But we really appreciate David Shaw, who's the owner of Ace Transfer Company, has been a big supporter of all things Two Regular Guys for a very long time. In fact, he's been a big supporter of mine. I call him a good close friend. So I'd love to have you guys support what he's doing over there at Ace Transfer. Great company, great guy. All right. So a couple other things here coming up, Kylene. And one more time, can you share with us what you're doing in about a little less than an hour?
Oh boy. On weheart.biz, we have our second Girl Talk. So me and one of my friends who kind of started her own business recently are getting together and we're going to talk. It's not all about girl stuff. We just called it Girl Talk, just like you guys are two regular guys.
Right.
So anyway, if you would like to join us, we would love it. If you had any questions for us, it's at 12 o'clock Central Time at weheart.biz on our Facebook page.
Yeah. So you just go to facebook.com/weheart.biz and check that out over there. And you're also have a customer appreciation sale going on right now as well, correct?
Yeah, we have a big sale. We just wanted to say thank you. So 30% off the whole entire store right now through Tuesday. So check it out. Let us know what you think and get started on your holiday shopping too.
Nice. Eric has got us linked in there. Talk about
thank you.
goals. Yeah, Eric is the bomb. All right.
Thank
so
you.
for me, going back to the 7 a.m. Small Business Saturdays, getting back to that 7 a.m. Central Time frame, because why not wake up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning? That's fully committed, right? That's how you get beyond procrastination. So for those of you guys on the West Coast there, that's bright and early. That'd be 5 a.m. your time over there. But I'm going to talk abundance mentality tomorrow. So I've been really working on the decorators community, which I'll talk about in just one second. And, kind of our core values. I've got it on the wall up here next to me. And one of the big ones is that abundance mentality. What has made Two Regular Guys what it is everybody in here and their abundance mentality of sharing. Emil, his abundance mentality of sharing for free to help people get to that next level. And in turn, that raises his business. So I'm going to talk about that, how we can best master that, especially somebody like me who's a very competitive person at the same time. So that becomes a very difficult challenge for me. So that'll be over at facebook.com/AaronMontgomery.info tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. on the East Coast, and 5 a.m. on the West Coast. And Sandy says, I like the 7 a.m. time. Yeah, me too. I've said on there before that I'm not necessarily a great morning person, but I'm learning. So, and we got a big day tomorrow too. So big party time for birthday girl here. So, all right, let's see here. My webinar, Becoming a Digital Marketing Superhero, is still looking great. I've already got lots of people signed up and have really done zero marketing on it so far. So I really appreciate everybody signing up. It's over at aaronmontgomery.info/marketing. And if you use the code regulator, that will save you $25 off the price. So that makes it, so that's half off. So it's $25 basically. And I'm really looking forward to that opportunity. It's going to be a great webinar. I've got great content that I'm really excited to share, but also going to be doing it in a way where it's nice and interactive. So that's why I've limited the class to only 50 people, because I want to make sure that we have the interaction, that I have the ability to really help after the fact too. So that's what it's all about. So check that out, aaronmontgomery.info/marketing. And last but not least, it's coming hot and heavy here. It's going to be quick. I'm trying to get this all together. the launch of Decorators Community is happening out at ISS Fort Worth, October 3rd through the 5th. And if you want to sign up for more information, I will pop this banner up here. You can do that right there at tworegularguys.com/decoratorscommunity. And we've been sending out educational content and information already to all those that are signed up. But we're going to be in booth 541 and just hanging out. That's the what are they calling it? They're calling it the Educators Lounge, and it's being supported by Decorators Community, our group, as well as Corel Trainer, which is Clay. So so both of us will be hanging out in there. Plus, we're going to be doing live Two Regular Guys interviews, all sorts of fun stuff, and really just talking about what this community is. You know, I've got some ideas. I've put some things out there. Eric and Terry and I have talked through a lot of these different opportunities and what we think it's going to be. But at the end of the day, what it's going to be is what you guys want it to be, and how it's going to best support and help you continue to be learners and education. And, you know, we just feel like this is the next evolution of Two Regular Guys. It's powered by Two Regular Guys. You know, Two Regular Guys is not going anywhere. Everything's all the same. But I think we're just trying to take it to that next level. So really, really excited about that. Again, booth 541. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Terry's got some things coming up here. I wanted to share with you guys about that. So if you just get over to his website and, oh yeah, I forgot about sorry. Before I talked about Terry's stuff, Eric put up there. Eric is actually going to be out there joining us too. So I know a lot of you guys complain about not getting to see Eric live and in person. So here's your opportunity. Get out there and I love hanging out with Eric. We have so much fun. So this is going to be great. And since Terry's going to have to be working while we're hanging out in the booth, Eric and I are going to have a blast. So all right. Speaking of Terry again, so terrycombs.com. If you head over to tour dates on his website, you'll see that he's got the complete screen printing business course coming up in Nashville at the Atlas Screen Printing Nashville office, and that's happening October 26th through the 27th. So that'll be right after Printing United in Dallas. So just pop right on up there. Then you've got let's see here. You got him. He'll be at Workhorse Products in Phoenix, November 2nd through the 3rd with that same class. And he'll be wrapping up the year in Chicago at Atlas Screen Supply, November 16th through the 17th. So you get up there and check that out. And you can find all that information at terrycombs.com. So, all right, Kylene, we've gone into bonus time. You've made it. How was it?
I survived. It was good. It was a really good show. I learned a lot. I'm glad I was part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what was your number one takeaway?
We probably need to hire him.
Yeah. All that great information. It's like, let's just let the experts do what the experts do and we'll do our thing. So I think it would
free up a lot of our time, or mostly your. But
big decision. That's good. That's awesome. I love it. Thank you for supporting me in that. Okay. Well, again, thanks to Emil, anchorbookkeeping.com. Great information all there. But guess what? You don't have to know any of that information. Just let him take care of it for you. He's obviously the expert there. All sorts of things that I had no clue about. And like I said, my dad was a CPA for 25 years, and I like to think I've got my finger on the pulse, but clearly not. All right. Well, again, thanks to Emil. So also want to thank our sponsors and Brilliance and their family of products, and certainly make sure you're checking out everything that they've got going on over there. Eric's working his tail off, and Brian, they've got some great products for those of you in the embroidery world. Boy, they just really take care of you. Plus, they're giving the Two Regular Guys listeners, the regulators, an extra discount on already fantastic products. So check out all of that. And also, again, thanks to Ace Transfer Company for their support. Next week's show is still in the planning stages a little bit, but I am going to be taking the week off, so to speak. So it's going to be on Terry and Eric to come up with the best show ever. And because I will be at the Sublimation Summit out in Atlanta. And I want to make sure that if you're going to be there, please come find me. I want to meet everybody I can. So I will be hanging around when I'm not teaching. I'm teaching a couple classes, 2 classes there, both days. So check that out. So I hope to get to meet you face to face at the Sublimation Summit. But next week, Eric and Terry will be bringing you fantastic information. So tune in, same time, same place. And been a great show. Thank you, Kylene.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right. Well, is that
That's nearly it. Yeah, you need to scroll down on the page there a little bit, but I'll take your cues for you. So she's Kylene, sitting in for Terry and Eric, and my name is Aaron Montgomery, and we are the Two Regular Guys and an Awesome Wife. So thanks for joining us today.
All right. Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.